Hello, everybody. Welcome back to CLX Foundry Live. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX. Joining me live right now from the studios in Wichita, Kansas, it's your lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and our master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Gentlemen, that is a very pretty case. I like that. That's adorable. Now, you know what else is adorable? PC giveaways. And let me explain why. Because you could win a free PC. I feel like that's the only explanation needed. Now, there's different ways you can get involved. If you'd like to know more about both these giveaways, we have two. Let's talk about those real quick. The first one, if you type exclamation giveaway, you're going to get two links. Let's talk about the very first one. It is with our friends over at MS Tech. I don't know if we got that graphic. There we go. Look at this. It's an absolutely beautiful Star Citizen themed build, custom designed. You're going to be getting not just the PC, but the chair, the pedals, the controllers, the adapters. It's all right there. Plus, you're going to have 4 different ships inside Star Citizen, the game. Absolutely amazing. Now, when it comes to the codes for that, because everybody's like, what about the codes? Well, let me show you what these codes look like. For the MS Tech giveaway, your codes are going to start with MTSM, RSI, VPRL. All right, those are the 3 that'll start with. I don't know what the singles are, but that's a Nicole thing. The next one is our Star Wars build. All right, now this is really, really, really awesome. This is hot. So for the Star Wars Outlaws build, you get this. The whole PC is custom designed. It's incredible. If you want to go back and watch the live build for it, you can. It was last week. It's spectacular. So with that said, if the code starts with SWOL, or, which is Star Wars Outlaw, not Swole, beefy, or INTL, that stands for Intel, I now know, those 2 are going to be for the Star Wars elements. Star Wars PC that we did in tandem with Intel, which is awesome. Where can you find these? Well, let me go ahead and tell you. You can find these codes all over the place. You can find them on our socials at YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. You can also possibly find them in our Discord, discord.gg/CLX Gaming. You can also find them on my channel. We'll talk about that later. Now, what I do want to talk about is there is a content creator on Twitch whose name is Deadshot91, and we are building their computer today. Gentlemen, what are we doing for Deadshot?
All right, so Deadshot's custom configured a RAW for our website. So starting out with the processor, we've got an AMD Ryzen 9 7900X that is getting overclocked and upgraded thermal paste on it. For our cooler, we've got a CLX Quench 360 AIO in white. This is the RGB version. It looks great. For our motherboard, we've got the Gigabyte X670 Aorus Elite AX. And for our memory, we've got 2 sticks of XPG 16 gig DDR5 6000 speed. These do have the RGB heat spreaders, so a total of 32 gigs in this build. And for our storage, for our main drive, we've got a 2 terabyte Patriot NVMe M.2 drive, and then a secondary 4 terabyte Seagate Barracuda hard disk drive. So 6 terabytes of storage in this thing. Obviously, this is going in our 011 Gold Edition. Really love this. We've maybe done a couple of these on the show, but it's been a while, so it's nice to get one. For our video card, we've got an RTX 4080 Super. This is the Founders Edition. And for our case fans, we've got 10 of our Game Dias Aeolus M3 fans. These are the black with the RGB rings around them. And our power supply is the EVGA 850 watt GT. This is an 80 plus gold fully modular power supply with black and red sleeved cables. So it's going to look great.
All right. I do want to say, as we go through today, you're going to possibly have questions. If you have questions, feel free to ask, because that's what we're here for. I do want to say hello to everybody on all the different platforms. Welcome in over on Twitter. We've got Facebook in the house. Deborah Schultz, hello. Welcome in. Over on TikTok, we got all sorts of people coming in. Hello. Can I get a PC sponsorship? Can you reply to my messages? Wait, is your actual screen name Follow for Follow Back? I am fascinated by that name. Over on the YouTube, we've got viewed them on the purple side, which, by the way, codes today will be dropped on the purple channel. So definitely check that out. That's where they will be printed. Goth Mommy 98 on Twitch. Hello, Goth Mommy. How you doing?
Everyone needs a
Good
Goth
to see
Mommy.
You. Absolutely. And we've got on the purple side, we've got Dirty Yankees in the house. Lalardist is here along with Zulu Charlie. I see Dirty Yankee. Alien Jin, who actually came up with a much better description for that, because they asked, is that gold or orange? And I said it's orangish gold, but Alien Jin said it looks copper or bronze. And I like that description better. It makes it sound more amazing. Firecracker over here on the purple side, back over on the green side. We got Deadshot 91 in the house!
Hey, what's up, Deadshot?
Let's go! Okay. Deadshot, we're building your PC today. I'm super excited to see you here. True 707. Yo, welcome. I almost said Toyota Ninja, and that is not what that says. Not your Ninja. There we go. All right, well, I'll tell you what's also not a Ninja is a motherboard, because one is a sword, the other does computing. So let's talk about this. This is an Aorus Elite. It's an X670, and it is an AX version. So checking that out. Beautiful board. Excellent IO shield. So let's take a look right away at what we've got for our connectivity in it. Alrighty. On the top, we've got obviously our Wi-Fi for it. And then down below there is your HDMI. We've got 4 USB 2s. All right. There are 6 USB 3.1s. All right. And then you've got 2 USB 3.2s, the USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, which is your 10 gigs up, 10 gigs down, right next to that 2.5 gig LAN port and your baseline audio ins and outs. There we go. Now, the wonderful thing about this is it does have some great heat shielding for your M.2s, your North Bridge, and your South Bridge, which I love. But we're going to have to power this with something. It's going to have something to run it. So that is going to be an AMD Ryzen 9 7900X. And by the way, our friend Deadshot decided to get that not just overclocked, but also paid for the upgraded thermal paste. Paul, what does that mean? And tell us about this processor.
Yeah, so they upgraded on the thermal paste. So we're going to put a very high-end thermal paste on this. And what that's going to do is allow us, when we do the overclock, to push it even further, keep it cool. So it's just all around great to do that, especially if you picked overclocking.
Alrighty, we'll get that popped in there. Now, when you go through and when you guys do the overclocking, how does that work really?
Yeah, so once the system's built, it goes to our testing and integration process. You probably heard me say that if you've watched the show before, but that is where we will set the overclock. So we do that first when we get into the BIOS. We'll make that sure, and then we do the load and the burn-in. That way we make sure everything's stable and all set.
Nice. Awesome. And you guys did that for mine. I was very, very happy with it. Send some high erased it. Still sad about that one. Now, these are traditionally square compared to the almost rectangular that Intel is starting to make. Mm-hmm. How are these different from that?
So really, just the design that AMD has come up with. These newer ones have kind of a fancier looking heat spreader on them, where there's those nice cutouts around the edges. But essentially, it's almost the same. We've got our pins on our motherboard, so I want to be very careful when we're taking the cover off there, and the LANs are on the processor. So once you get it tightened out, those LANs make contact with those pins, and that's how it all talks to each other.
That is awesome. Goth Mommy doing well. We've also got over here on the Facebook side, look who's here. Ray Pendleton Jr. Nice shell. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Ray, okay. What's up, Rise? How are you? I hope you reply fast. Well, a lot of chats to look at, bud. Yes, and Tom Udall. What's up, dude? How are you? Good to see you. James Alcott's here. GG. Okay. Wait, what? Dead in Tokyo. First message says, I'm going to win. Whose giveaway? I've done everything in my power to get the most entries. Not quite yet, because you haven't been to my streams. I've been giving them out like candy. What's the GPU? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a few. We'll get to that. We got to do this in stages, you know. So, now, right now, what we're doing is we're getting on our AIO. Now, this is going to be a... Where did it go? It's a CLX Quench 360. Paul, tell us about this and what it does.
Yeah, so like I said, this is the CLX Quench 360. So that number refers to the size of the radiator, which is right here. So we can fit 3 120 millimeter fans on it. These AIOs are great for cooling. They're very easy to install. They usually come with a few different bags of hardware. So you just grab the one that matches your motherboard socket, put it on, and you're good to go. I mean, you can see, obviously Zach's a pro at this, but it's very easy to install and it provides great cooling. We'll just plug in our cables. This one does have RGB, so there's an extra RGB cable that Zach just plugged in. And once you've got those in, you're good to go.
Sounds like a plan. Gotta help you get a PC built. Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad you've got so many people from your community in here. Welcome in. Glad to have you all here. Good to see you. Also, I'm going to go ahead and... Now, Deadshot, are you on all the platforms, or are you on just the Kick side? How does that work? All right. I'm following. Just Kick. All right, Deadshot 91. It is kick.com/Deadshot91 if you want to check out their content. Now, in order for us to make sure that our CPU has enough opportunity to think beyond itself, let's talk about the RAM. Now, for our RAM, we've got 2 sticks of XPG 16 gig DDR5 6000 in black. I have DDR5 6000. Absolutely love it. And it's fantastic. So, Quarky Cube, smart routing with the AIO, right? Bourbon Brothers. My brothers in bourbon. Hello. How's it been, my dude? Welcome to the show, man. Glad to have you here. 2707 asks, do you guys do repairs on your PCs? Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So all of our PCs come with a 1-year parts warranty and a lifetime technical support and labor. So you can actually expand that to a 3-year warranty, which I always recommend. I also recommend getting M.2s. Let's talk about that. The operating system for Deadshot is going to be a 2 terabyte Patriot P300 NVMe M.2. Paul, for those people who might not know what an M.2 is, how would you describe that?
Yeah, so an M.2 is a version of an SSD, a solid state drive. So the M.2 is the form factor there. Kind of looks like a stick of gum. See, Zach just put it in there. There's M.2 slots on your motherboard. It goes in at a 45-degree angle and then goes down. Some motherboards on the higher end side have these heat spreaders that Zach's putting on there. These M.2s don't generate a ton of heat, but having a heat spreader on it's just going to keep it even cooler than if you didn't have one and help it last longer.
Yes. And Nacha Ninja, thank you so much for bringing Deadshot over here. We're Deadshot 91. We love it. Absolutely fantastic. So, you're shopping for Vegetation Killer. Well, there we go. Zlens Media, what's up, guys? Hey, DJ. I'm also a DJ. Nice, Zlens. So can I ask, what's your style, man? Or your go-to genre? My go-to was, well, I started out as a house DJ, and then up that to everything except for rap and country. So, because if you're DJing country, I have questions. I watch the Twitch stream and X stream at the same time. So do I. Dead and joke, you're welcome in. Skits, any early birds get the worm codes? Not yet, but if you keep your eyes open, you might just find one. Also, Ivory is on assignment today, so he will not be dropping the codes. You're going to want to look for your codes from none other than Find Nicole here. Here we go. This would be amazing to use for my Twitch streaming. Yes, yes. Well, I definitely get into that those giveaways. Once again, it is exclamation giveaway right there. Nicole's like, did you say codes? Who said codes? What are those? Well, codes are going to get you all sorts of extra entries into either of the giveaways. And I'll be able to identify exactly which giveaway the codes are for when I see them. More valuable than gold. Absolutely correct, sir. Ooh. Like, looks like really good Vegetation Killer is expensive. Yes, probably. You do house and hip hop and R&B? Nice. Nice. So, if you ever end up doing it on Twitch, I will gladly throw it over to you for some good hip hop and R&B, because I don't do those, but I love people who do. Code, is there a giveaway? Sasko, of course there's a giveaway. We're always doing giveaways. Okay, now we got this bad boy on there, and we've already got our 3 fans in. Now, for the fans, we're using 10 different Game DS Aeolus M3 Black RGB fans. Now, one of the things I love about this, and I think Deadshot91 is going to appreciate this as well, these M3 fans are subtle but brilliant. So, as you can see, I have the M2s, which are the light up. They have the ring. They light up on the blades. These actually have, the blacks have black fans, but the LED is around the inside of the rim. It's beautifully subtle, but incredibly, they're incredible fans. I absolutely love them. I thought Thursdays were kick side. Nope, that's Tuesdays, but skits. Yep. Tuesdays are green. Thursdays are purple. And I don't know why that seems to rhyme with Nurple. Okay, I'm fired. Now, one thing I would like to point out is you can see how this is raised up off of the back, as you can see the angle on these black grommets. This is kind of what we call a 2/3 or a 3/4 design. So the motherboard doesn't actually sit on the back. Paul, how does that affect the system, and why is that important when it comes to functionality and cooling?
Yeah, so what the 3/4 design does is allow us a lot of room in the back of the case for extra stuff. So we have 4 bays back there for 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch extra drives, and then we've also got room for our power supply that's going to be down here. We'll show that here in a little bit, and then it's got a very good section for cable management. So having all that in the back just gives the inside of this case a really clean look. I like it with all the glass panels around it. You won't see a lot of the cables or anything like that. So
I'll tell you what you will see, though. You will see that Nicole dropped a code. It's VPRL. That's Victor Papa Romeo Lima. That is 50 extra entries right there. That code is 8SJK. That is 8 Sierra Jammer Kilo. And Drunk AU's in the house. My brother from another mother. Welcome in. Australia is here. Welcome to the house, my boy. Okay. All these fun people. I dig it. I used to hate on O11 cases until I built a water-cooled building one. Yeah, I have an O11. I would swear by these. Now, these also have a really cool feature that we're going to take a look at once we get the camera in a different spot, just because I want to point out what's behind that. So, in the meantime, though, we're getting all these in here. When you are applying or putting in your motherboard, Paul, what are some things to keep an eye on and make sure that you are doing competently?
Yeah, so when you're first installing your motherboard, you're going to want to look at the I/O shield area. It's this area in the back right here where my finger is. Some boards will come with an I/O shield not installed already, so you'll pop that into place before you put your board in. A lot of boards nowadays are coming with the I/O shield pre-installed on the motherboard like this one. So the first thing we look at when we're putting that in is to make sure everything is lined up on here, and then we'll look at our standoffs and make sure those are in the right spot so we can mount our board.
That is awesome. John Shed Mobile mentions building one, and Buck, what's up? Buck you 68. That is fantastic. That's actually amazing as a name. So said you're actually building 2 water cooled yourself. That is great.
Very nice.
That's great news. Making sure I'm getting over here to everybody. Yeah, I'm finally glad you're switching. Now, here's a question for you. I'm wondering, are you looking to jump into keyboard and mouse, or are you going to be sticking with controller? I know for me, I was a controller player forever until I finally was forced to switch, and then suddenly, turns out I'm better on keyboard and mouse. I have no idea why, I just am. All right. You might try it. Yeah. So let me give you a piece of advice, if you don't mind. These are scuffed right now. The scuffs are banging. Here's the one thing I will say. If you're going to try jumping over to keyboard or mouse, get a game like that you already know how to play. You know the mechanics of it. You understand the nature of it. For me, it was Destiny 2 when I did that. And so I knew how to play the game, knew the movement mechanics, everything like that. So I went back in, and it took a minute to kind of reprogram muscle memory because I knew what to do. It was just a matter of figuring out how to make my fingers do it differently. And then suddenly, everything made sense. And I'm much better with keyboard and mouse than I ever was on controller. So, but then again, and I say this only because everybody's brain works differently. Some people have a much better coordination with their hands in a controller. Some people have a better control over things with their keyboard and mouse. It's all personal. There's no ups or downs. It's just that's the way it works. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm excited to see your content. I'm excited to see you get this machine. It's going to be fantastic. Temperance is in the house. My first modern K&M game was PUBG, way before they released it on console. Yes. Well, and that was, I think, the very first game I ever was forced to play on keyboard and mouse because we did this whole thing with Mixer and PUBG at, I want to say PAX East or PAX South, I think. But it was Annie Tinkerbell organized this thing, sat me down, just goes, "Here you go, love," because she's Irish. And I had no idea what I was doing. I think I shot 3 people on my own team, and it did not go over nearly as well as I had hoped. Stony Kenobi. Stony Kenobi. Again, we've got some people with some really creative names here today, and I'm very happy about it. Very happy about it. You've been here since before you guys went live. Oh, well, that's fantastic. Use keyboard and mouse on console. You know, EP Loco, I have a question about that. I mean, honest question. How does that work? How does that work with regards to changing key bindings or anything like that? Because that's one thing I'm not sure about. Rondar Wild, can you please give me a PC? I have a PS4. Well, I'll tell you what. What you can do is enter the giveaway by typing !giveaway in the chat right now. And if you enter, who knows, you might win. We've had people who've won with literally one entry before. Hilarious. Pagan, welcome. Yes. The MTSIM giveaway, which is for Star Citizen, is the top one. And the Intel one is the bottom one, which is grand. Copy that over here. I don't know why I have to talk through my actions or activities. I just feel like then I don't get confused with whatever I was doing. Does anybody else do that?
Makes sense.
Like if I'm on stream and I forgot to put anything in the Discord about it, I start talking as I'm typing, as if chat needs to know what I'm typing. They're going to see it posted in there anyways. It's awkward. All right. Now, as we're getting our cables and everything done, the cool thing about this, and I'll be honest, that Deadshot91 picked something we call cable mods. Cable mods. Paul, what are cable mods?
Yeah, so this cable mod kit, this is a sleeved cable kit for our power supply. So if you're buying one of these on your own, you definitely want to make sure you get the kit that matches the model of your power supply because they are pinned differently. But these are just a really great finishing touch to your build. You can see Deadshot went with the black and red. They got all the colors under the sun. So these just add a really nice finished look to your build, and you can get them in any color you want. I've kind of been sorting these out and putting the cable combs on them. So
Gotcha.
Pretty much prepped, and these cable combs just keep the cables nice and neat, and it'll look great when they're installed.
There you go. James Alcott's in the house over the red side. Hello. Hope I win either due to my old AMD dying. I hear you on that. My streaming PC is basically, I'm going to pet it right now and say I love you. I know you're having struggles right now. It's one of those moments where I'm now having to restart it every day and pray to God that it comes on. So somebody's going to be financing a PC through CLXgaming.com. Now, the one thing to remember is that our MTSIM Star Citizen giveaway is that giveaway ends in 13 days. The Intel Star Wars Outlaws giveaway ends in 6 days. So, yeah, there are right now a total for the Star Wars. There's almost 2 million total entries right now, whereas there is 5.7 million for the Star Citizen. Absolutely incredible. I bought a new monitor and got the desk already waiting for the PC. Yeah, Deadshot. What'd you get for a monitor, bud? Click my USB devices to get my PC. What? Okay, Stony, this is a great question. And again, we love to have questions because it helps other people who may be experiencing the same thing. Stony Kenobi says, I have to unplug all my USB devices to get my PC to turn on. What's that about?
Man, I'd like to know. That is a unique situation.
You have a USB driver update.
You need to do an exorcism on your computer or something. I don't know. I've never heard of that before. Maybe something's like drawing some power that's causing something. I don't know. It's a unique situation.
Could it be a bandwidth, or like a bandwidth allocation for?
Depends on just what you got plugged into it, but really, yeah, that's a pretty unique situation.
And I agree, Bourbon Brothers is absolutely right. Go to your device manager, make sure that all your drivers are up to date. Also, when you go to Windows Update, you can click on additional updates, and it will say, okay, you've got like there's going to be USB driver updates for your motherboard. Maybe there's a chipset update for your AMD or Intel. Those kind of things happen, but you don't usually see them because you have to click on additional updates and drivers. So, is it really all of them or just one causing the problem? Ooh, Bull, good question. By the way, Bulleramics, welcome to the show. If I lag out of Twitch, will you still be in the Sim and Outlaws? Yes. Yep. You prefer AMD or Intel for CPUs? I'll be honest, EP Loco, I have one of each. I game on an Intel i9 13900KF, and I stream on an AMD Ryzen 5 3600. So I like them both, but I think it's a matter of personal preference. Paul, Zach, your thoughts?
I mean, both are really awesome now. So like a decade ago, Intel was the superior CPU and AMD was great for budget builds. That's what I had in my very first PC I ever built, was an AMD Phenom 2. But now everything is just so good. So really it depends on the application you're wanting to do, which brand you want to support. Look at, reviews and benchmarks on the games that you want to play with the specific hardware is really the best recommendation I can give you. But both are solid, both are reliable, so can't really go wrong.
John Howell over here on the Facebook. Sorry, Zach, I didn't give you a chance to answer. Your turn.
I would kind of piggyback off of like Paul. If there's and the reason why you have both is because one program runs better on a specific drive. So like if you are getting a computer, not just a gaming computer, but like a workstation to help do some production or music editing or anything like that, I would read some reviews to make sure which whatever software is cohesive with your hardware.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, man? Hard software, all the ins and outs of the computer.
Right, Vulcanorian over on the Kick side. Hello, welcome in. Now, I do have John Howell over on our Facebook side who mentioned I need to learn to build computers. Well, you're at the right show for that. That's literally what we are doing. While it is an opportunity to
ask
to see how we build customers' computers, It's also a great opportunity to learn tips and tricks when you're building your own. One of the first things that I learned on this show was the fact that I am horrible with cable management. And I also didn't think a lot of things through when I was trying to put my very first PC together because I'd never actually watched a show. And it was very interesting because like when I had to do mine by very first time, I pulled that motherboard out of the case like 6 times because I would try and wire something in and thought, well, how is that going to work? Then it took me 6 hours to do what should have taken me 45 minutes. What would have taken these guys about 20 minutes, maybe at that. But yeah, stick around, ask questions. Absolutely. The 13th to 14th gens have a copper oxidation issue with certain bins, so I'm still using my 12900 OC, 1200K OC. Nice.
Nice, yeah, that's still a solid processor. I'm still on 11th gen Intel in my personal rig, so.
Woohoo! Ryzen 5 3600.
Yeah, that's my streaming one, but sadly it's starting to die. And I'll be very honest, I feel like that it might be dying due to user error. Only because, yeah, it got to the point where when I restarted it, once I logged in, put my passcode in, I would just get black screens. That's it. My mouse, black screens, no windows, no nothing. It would just sit there. I couldn't even get the task manager to come up, so I just have to turn the whole thing off again and restart it, and then it would come up with the operating system. No clue why that happened, but now it's starting to get worse, so yes. Now, Katie Kamiko, what's going on? Sweats in 1490 KF. Planning on upgrading to the new AMD 9000 series when AMD fixes the first batch issues and releases them. That's a good idea. Sounds like either the drive or a memory issue, Pagan says. I'm going to be honest. You're not wrong, and I have no idea. That's what these guys get paid for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what I do know is that I've got 16 gigs of 3600 RAM that runs at 1800. And I can't get it to go over 1800. No matter what we've done, it just sits there. So, it is what it is. You're like, it won't.
What's your main game that you're going to be installing on your hard drive?
Yeah, that's a good question. Deadshot 91, what you going to be doing for your gaming, my friends? I haven't had a complete build gaming rig. A complete build gaming rig. NCIX was around. Well, when NCIX was around, I want to get into the VR thing. Ooh.
I thought we were talking about
Air Cadet.
NCIS there for a second. I was like, what?
X Air Cadet here. Well, thank you for your service, Quirky. X Navy here. There we go.
07's in chat.
07s.
Paul's also in the military.
Yeah, well, I was in the smart branch, the Air Force.
There we go. Thank you so much, Tony Kenobi. Oh, Corky, listen. I'm just glad I'm getting sentences out and not sounding like I'm having a stroke. Which on some days, that is not exactly the thing. You're going to be putting in Call of Duty. Nice. Can I ask which one? Oh, by the way, Paul, remember I was telling you about that new game that I was going to play on Tuesday?
Uh-huh.
It's called Skur. Ritual.
I was watching it a little bit, yeah.
It's like a horror game closer to it's like a really violent version of Phasmophobia, but in a I would say a COD Zombies, like because my favorite COD Zombies is Cold War. Cold War Zombies is my jam.
Okay.
I love that. Yep.
Yeah, I was watching. I think it was like what you and Scott were playing, and I think you found like a fire axe or something. I don't know. It was pretty wild.
God, it was nuts.
It looks
but
cool.
We had that's and the thing is, and this is what drove me nuts, was the fact that I'm a pretty accomplished gamer. I've got some titles and records. So I wasn't expecting it to be so hectic. We got bopped and wrecked by round 6 on normal. We put it on easy. We got to round 8.
Oh wow.
We had, and then we had to put it on down to beginner, right? And at beginner, we managed to actually finish a 20-round game. But my God, it's not easy. It is a hard game. I think it'd be better with 4 people, but it's just, it's ridiculous. And I love it. I love it because it's terrifying and it makes me scream. Yeah, all the way around the room. All right. Now, as you can see, we've got our 3 fans going in on the bottom right here, and we've got them all attached to a tray. But I will say, despite our 2 terabyte Patriot P300, we have a second drive going in, and this is going to be a 4 terabyte Seagate Barracuda HDD. Now, Paul, you've got this in a frame. Where is this going to go? And can you talk to me about those 2 big black boxes on the back?
Yeah, so this is one of the coolest thing about these cases, in my opinion. So back here, we've got our 2 bays for our extra drives. Now you can see there's 2 slots in each. I've got one here, so you just pull the slot out, install your drive, and slide it back in. What is special about this is that in the back of these bays, there's actual SATA connections, and maybe it's pretty far. See, okay, right there. You can
There it
see
is,
right
yeah.
there in the top. So there's cables coming out of these boxes that Zach has already plugged in. Now we plug in them from both bays. That way, if you ever upgrade, all you got to do is grab your hard drive, put it in your tray, slide it in like that, and it's automatically connected. So really great. I love that about this case.
You know what I love about that case? It's swole. And I say swole as an SWOL-STPR. That is Star Wars Outlaws. And the code is going to be STPR. That is short for Stormtrooper. That is Sierra Tango Papa Romeo. So, once again, SWOL, Sierra Whiskey Oscar Lima, dash STPR, Sierra Tango Papa Romeo. I never thought about calling Romeo Daddy, but now I do.
3 things.
I have issues.
You're welcome.
O2 in the longs, food in the stomach. What more could you ask for?
I like it. Man,
And that is going to be worth 200 people, 200 entries.
just ate lunch before this, and I've been eating a little healthier lunches, getting these like salad bags from the grocery store right there. I got this like steakhouse wedge salad. I was like, that sounds good, right?
Oh yeah.
Get it open. It comes with, like typically croutons, some extra stuff, you drop in there, and I just shake the whole bag up. I didn't realize it was blue cheese dressing instead of ranch.
Oh God.
And I had to stomach through that. So like, this is my lunch. I gotta do it. Yeah, it was rough, man. Blue cheese is no joke.
We get those.
No, I can't. We share we share lactose intolerance in just an absolutely bizarre and horrifying way.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta do this. Like, I gotta eat it. But I need the sustenance. I need the calories. But man, I did not like it. I thought it was ranch. Who actually like prepackages blue cheese in their salad? Come on now. I can do like a hint of it. Like if you get it with wings or something, I can do like just a tiny bit.
No.
But no, it's and I had already shaken it up, so the whole thing's just coated. Like, oh, we're doing this.
What? Wait. Nicole says flattery will get you more codes.
Yeah.
Like this RSI-Spice or Space. I mean, I'm sorry, I was watching Dune. So it's RSI Robert Sierra Indigo. That is Robert Space Industries -SPCE Sierra Papa Charlie Echo. So there we go. Another code. Now that RSI code is actually worth 100 extra entries into that giveaway, which features not just the PC, it's custom designed. It also has got your flight joysticks, your chair, all of your mounts, and your rudder pedals. So lots of fun. Is Dune any good? I still haven't tried it. Oh my gosh, yes, it's so amazing. The only thing that bothered me is how they said the name, the Harkonnens. They call them Harkonnens instead of Harkonnen. And so, yeah.
I
And
thought it
tomato,
was
tomato.
Timothy Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Yep. So, let's see here. Drake Melancon says, I like playing games designed for Windows 98 and XP. Let's be fair. Back in the beginning, they were amazing and fantastic. Christopher Melton, how much do y'all charge to put them together? Games from 98 or XP or PCs? I think it just depends on what you're having built.
Yeah, all that
Broken in,
cost
right?
is added into the cost of the system, so there isn't like a set amount or anything like that.
And it's for the life of the system.
Yeah. Yeah, Xavier Gregory, hello. Now, I grew up on the David Lynch version until the new one came out. And while the David Lynch version did explain a few different things of the lore a little bit better than the beginning of the new version, the depth and lack of internal monologuing was extraordinary. Absolutely incredible, especially from a storyline version. You know what else is incredible? Modular power supply units. And for this modular power supply unit, we're using a EVGA 850 watt, 80 plus gold, and it is fully modular. So here's my question, Paul. What does that mean? How is that different from others?
Yeah, so fully modular means that the cables do not come pre-installed or soldered in. So you can see Zach is able to just install this box here without any of the cables. So this allows us a lot of room to install our CPU cables, which will go through up here, and all of our other cables. Then we can plug them in as we need to and tie them up that way. So I've got 2 CPUs. Cable combs ready to go.
Chris Melton says, PC, I got one, but I don't trust myself to put it together.
I believe in you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would now that we've been doing the show. I'd love to actually think about actually doing one of our live shows with it and try to build it and see how badly I screw it up. Deadshot mentioned Modern Warfare 3 on the new one. Your favorite Black Ops is Black Ops 6. What would y'all rate this build? I mean, well, let's take a look at what you got. You're going to be getting, we haven't even pulled out the graphics card yet. So first of all, you've got a Ryzen 9. It's one of the most powerful Ryzens made. It's incredible. You've got a really great motherboard with 32 gigs of DDR5 6000. That's the fastest RAM that we carry. Plus, you've got a 2 terabyte NVMe M.2, plus your 4 terabyte backup drive, and it's all liquid cooled plus fans. And the fun part is, you've got an RTX 4080 Super. What? That's also getting overclocked. So this is going to be incredible. Let's take a look at this. The GeForce RTX 4080 Super by NVIDIA.
Cue the dramatic
And
music.
Is this a Founders Edition?
This is a Founders.
Oh God, these are so pretty.
Sorry, Zach.
The packaging on these always is just fantastic.
It is.
Absolutely fantastic.
Now, inside of
The
here,
XTX.
we won't be using this, but if you're opening one of these up, don't forget about this little tab here. It's going to have a dongle for the card. Since we have the cable mod kit, we're going to use this fancy cable instead.
Nice. Well, tell us a little bit about this graphics card, Paul.
Yeah, so RTX 4080 Super is what we've got here. Now this is a Founders Edition, so straight from NVIDIA. So it's got the typical Founders Edition cooler on this. Really like this. This is a great cooler. You got a fan on this side and another one over here. I kind of like that design, so we're flowing a lot of air through this. Now this is a very heavy card, so we will be using an anti-sag bracket on this. It's a 3-slotter, and we've got 3 display ports and 1 HDMI coming out.
Nice. We got a great question coming in from Xavier Gregory over on the Facebook side of things. It says, hey, Mr. DJ, J-Lo vibes. On the Game DS. Oh, I see what you meant there.
Turn that
Hey,
music
Mr.
up.
D. Sorry. Right? Is there a software app? Oh, yeah. On the Game DS Talos Towers, is there a software app to control the RGB lights? Sometimes the little remote has a mind of its own.
Yeah, it's a good question. So the remote on the Game DS is the main way to change that. Now, if there is an RGB port on your board, that can be plugged in that way, and you can control it with that. But the remote is going to give you a little bit more of different modes and stuff to put them through. But yeah, sometimes those remote, it's funny because they're just like a regular infrared remote, and so when we're walking by and testing, if we wanted to, and we've got like a whole rack of them set up, you can change them all with one remote, which is kind of fun.
I have.
And sometimes studio lights get messed up when we're doing it. So if you've ever watched and see at the end where the colors behind us aren't what they are when we're building, that's because we were playing with a remote.
Yep. Christopher Melton says, I got a 4070 Ti Super 9914K version. Asus Z790. Ooh, nice. And 64 gigs of RAM. Bruh.
Very
nicely
nice,
done.
Very nice.
Mine is a little earlier in generation than it is. So I've got a 13900KF processor on a ROG Strix Maximus Formula motherboard, and then I've got 64 gigs of DDR5 6000. My operating system model is on a Samsung 990 Pro, and then all of my games are on a 4 terabyte Kingston Fury M.2. So I have no hard drives, I just have M.2s in there. It has a custom Strix white 3090 OC, and we've got 13 fans in an 011, and that's because the radiator on the back is actually a push-pull. So that means there's 3 fans in the front and 3 fans in the back to really make sure we're keeping everything cool in there. And those fans create so much wind force that I have to pin my green screen to the back of the wall, or else it just sucks it right up to the back of the case. But when I say push-pull, Paul, how is that different from what we're doing today?
Yeah, so a push-pull, like DJ just said, is when you have fans on both sides of the radiator. So radiators come pre-drilled with fan screws, so you can put them on either side. Now the best way, or the preferred way to install your fans on the radiator is going to be pushing air through, which is what we've got this set up. That's why you don't see fans on this side, you just see the radiator, because our fans are on the inside here, pushing air through the radiator and out the top of the case. So that'd be the push method. If we had our fans up here, that would be pulling air through, which will still work, and your system will function fine. It's just it cools a little bit better if you're pushing instead of pulling. All that being said, if you've got room in your budget and room in your case, which is the big one there, you can put fans on both sides. You just want to make sure that one side is pushing, the other side is pulling. That way you're not sandwiching air in there and not getting good airflow. That method does provide really, really good cooling, but sometimes it's hard to do in a build. Like I believe in DJ's 011, if we would have put fans on both sides, it would have been bumping into our RAM and the heat spreaders on the motherboard, so we had to mount the radiator in the side.
Yep. And luckily, because the way the design is, there was plenty of space to put to mount them on the backside inside the case. Now, for mine, I've got what 9 intakes that are blowing air in, and then 4 pushing air out. So that's an exceedingly positive pressure system. This will be. We got 3 on the back, or 3 on the bottom. So there's 6 pushing in. We've got 4 out. We got the 3 on the top and the 1 on the back. So this is also a positive pressure system. Paul, what does that mean, and how does that help when it comes to the performance of the rig?
So what positive pressure means is that we have more air coming into the case than we do coming out, which is what we want. That means the air coming in is going to go through all the right filters, and it's going to cool pretty well. Now, if you have it set up in the reverse way, that's going to create a negative pressure in your system. Everything should still function fine. It's just going to cause a vacuum inside of your computer where it's going to pull in dust, pet hair, all that stuff you don't want in there, in through all the little cracks and crevices. So we always recommend going with a positive pressure. That being said, if your system's built and working and you've got it in a negative pressure, it's not like you got to rebuild it or anything. It'll perform fine.
Let's see here. Back down into Quarky says, I always watch videos, and the cable management is always very clean from you guys. Are you using custom length cables?
That is a good question. So no, we are not using custom length cables. We carry a lot of different name brands here. So, the same stuff you're buying, the EVGA power supplies, MSI, Game DS, all of them. So we're using the cables that come with there, unless a customer, like this one, picks out a custom sleeve cable kit. These aren't cut differently or anything. These are fresh out the box, just like you would. We've just done a really good job with all of our cable management and figured out really good ways to make it always look good.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. DJ speaks with authority. I mean,
Respect
on things that I'm
is authority.
that I'm aware of,
Forever.
sure. However,
Respect it.
yeah. Respect my authority. Here we go. All right, now we're getting these in here. Obviously, you can see the power supply is down there on the back, mounted below the two hot swap drive bays, which is fantastic.
Plugged in there.
I'm yeah, right. Okay, getting that all put together. Nice. Making sure I've caught all of the. You need to hire someone to set up your Game Boy. Frankie Walls. Like put it like on a shelf or in a windowsill or on a chair. Where do you want me to set it up on?
Much respect to the Game Boy enjoyers
Yep.
out there still.
Dude.
Still got my SP on my nightstand at home.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that dude said he used all caps to speak with authority. What?
It's a good way
That's
to do it.
That's the dumbest. Yeah, look, caps lock is a thing, man. It is a button that can be used, but should not always be used. Yeah. Okay, now we're getting these finally in here. One of the cool things about the O11 case is how it separates the airflow. So, Paul, why is that important when it comes to the performance of your PC?
Yeah, so I think the number one reason for designing the case like this is the overall aesthetic, kind of more than performance. Now that being said, when we've got all of our cables pulled back here, not a ton of them just hanging outside of the case, that's just going to make the airflow throughout the whole case smoother, going to keep your components a little bit cooler and help the longevity of the system.
Yeah. There we go.
And yes, be
look.
easy, that is a
Caps are
good
up.
setup.
Yeah, it's very good. I dig it. I dig it. So, once again, if you'd like to know more about the giveaways and the PCs we're giving away, all you've got to do is type exclamation giveaway in the chat right now, and we'll make sure that our little bot goes through it.
Oh, thank you.
There you go,
LA artist.
Temperance. Yep, join the MTSIM. We love it.
awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm just very happy that my head isn't shining in the lights today. That's a plus. I found it's considered a no shine or a matte lotion, like that, like moisturizer, but that cuts down on it ever shining to the point where a laser could take down a plane. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. My dude,
Beautiful
that
cable
looks so
management.
good. So good. All right. Now, the last thing we've got to put in there is our graphics card. Now, this is a big, chunky card, it looks like. So, Paul, when it comes to the weight, what are we going to be doing to help stabilize that card in the system?
Yeah, so this is definitely a heavier card. So we have an anti-sag bracket installed. The base of that bracket is right here. So you can see this goes into our motherboard, and then there's going to be a little arm that can slide on this, and you can screw it into any one of those holes. That way you can adjust it to fit your card.
Nice. Now, there are different types and kinds of... Look at that. You know, the Founders Editions are just They're just rock solid.
look
Now,
great.
that looks beefy. How heavy is it?
14 ounces and 7 pounds. Right? I did that right?
Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
What? That's a...
Don't worry. Don't check it out. It's right. Don't need to fact check that.
The flight sticks in the giveaway are very nice addition. Has anybody in your studio flown in VR? I have flown in VR a couple times, but unfortunately, the VR headset was just not quite. The FPS wasn't fast enough, and so I would get the VR sickness. Now, here's a reason to have caps, people, and let's go ahead and talk about it. As Nicole just mentioned, it is a code worth 100 extra entries into the PC giveaway for the Star Wars Intel build, and that is INTL, that's short for Intel, dash ISVN. That is Indigo, Sierra, Victor, November. There we go. INTL-ISVN. Grab it now. Sounds like what I got pulled over with. What? Wait. I'm sorry. Did I miss something? Memphis over on the TikTok side. I have a AMD CPU. Can I switch my 7600 GPU for a 4090?
Yes, you can. What did you originally have? I don't see it.
A 7600.
7600, yeah. So you definitely can do that. You just want to make sure that it's going to fit in your case and that your power supply has enough power to feed that card, since that is a pretty big upgrade there.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
I'm building my PC and the front panel connect. Oh. So, Magnet's Corner. Hi, welcome in. I am building my PC and the front panel connectors are being extra frustrating to work with right now. Can you describe what's going on? And what kind of a case?
Those are very frustrating. So with this shot right here, if you look directly below the video card, yep, right where Zach's finger is, those are the front panel connections. Now your power LEDs are just a single wire going to a single pin. So yeah, those are a pain to get down. Once you've done it 1,000 times, it's just like boop, boop, boop. So it's pretty nice. Some cases come with it all as one connector, so it plugs in almost like you would be plugging in a USB port, which is nice. But yeah, take your time on those.
Ow. Okay.
Yeah, during the after show, Zach really covers that really well. So if you want to see a good in-depth version of that, Zach will definitely walk you through that.
Yeah. Definitely. Fifth one today. Yeah, we've got lots of them coming in. Lots of codes being dropped over there on the purple side. Deborah Schultz says, just do some blue dye stripes one day or one stream. Blue dye stripes. Like on the case? Or cable mod. Oh, the cable mods. Got it. That's probably cable mod reference.
Okay.
Nice. This is looking good. I think the only thing we have left to deal with is the fan controller.
Correct.
Awesome. Now, one thing when you're installing your fans, it's important to kind of take this tip from Zach, and I'm going to have him, once he gets this done, explain how he does this. He's come up with a really brilliant strategy for it. Absolutely. Good shot. So, Zach, how does that work?
So the way GameDS hubs work is we can connect up to 8 fans per hub, and then we can daisy them to another hub and plug in and keep going and plug in and keep going. So with these guys here, it makes it a lot easier because it is going across multiple hubs to keep track of them. I like to go in order and start on the rear exhaust fan. And from there we can count around the whole case and just go one fan at a time. That allows us to, if we ever have a fan that is either spinning and not glowing or glowing and not spinning, then we can just be like, well, okay, that's fan 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's this fan right here. Well, I can go to my little hub box and, oh, that one is just unplugged a little bit. When I plug it in, it just makes troubleshooting a lot easier. One of like the main troubleshooting things is fans either not spinning or not glowing. So making that just like a little bit easier to work on saves a lot of hassle.
Oh my gosh, I'm dense. Deborah Schultz was not talking about the PC, she was talking about my head. Just do some blue dye stripes one stream. Yes, I could look like Aang. Just a little arrow.
2 race stripes.
Yes.
There it is, yeah.
That'd be fantastic, actually. A Golden spin, yes. And Deadshot says, I appreciate y'all being able to build this live. We're thankful that you chose CLX Gaming.
Yeah, we appreciate
you are
you.
gonna love this build. Yes, absolutely love it. So, got a bunch of connecting. Wait, I missed a couple things on the TikTok. Let's back up real fast. Isaiah says, I have a Horus and I was wondering if it was upgradable.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely upgrade it. If you need any help going through that, you can always reach out to support. You've got lifetime support. So yeah, they can definitely help you. Even if you don't end up buying the upgraded components through us, they can at least recommend you a good upgrade path.
Memphis mentions, I was running mixed brand DDR5 and was getting repair code for the longest before I realized.
Yeah.
Oh no. How does that work, Paul?
Yeah, so with RAM, essentially in theory, you could have, like, let's say this board has 4 different slots, right? So you could buy 4 different brands of memory and have 4 different slots, and it should work, but memory really likes to be, it likes it best if it's the same. So you want to definitely have matching sticks. That's brand and speed as well. That's going to make everything perform smoothly. You can run into issues if you don't do it that way.
Now, here's a very, very good question, and I'm loving this. Memphis says, I only have 2 RAM sticks in. Does port position matter as much, like being on slots 2 and 4? Paul?
Yeah, so it does matter. Now, it'll probably perform if you've got them in, let's say you used 1 and 2, but each motherboard is set up almost the same. So if you got 4 slots on your board, and 2 sticks of RAM, you want to use slot 2 and 4. Now you can always look at your motherboard manual to verify that and make sure that's how your board wants it. If you don't have the paper manual, all the motherboard manufacturers have that on their website. You can just look up. And that's because the way that the CPU is going to look at that memory. So that's why you want to have them like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, back up here. Just don't stick them in the wrong... Yeah, slots, definitely. Don't modify to make it fit. Also true.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to push too hard to get your RAM in. If you're using a lot of effort, probably got them backwards.
Yep. IDK, hello. Welcome in. All right. Now, as we're getting this all finished up, look at that. That looks grand. And I really do love how subtle and basically invisible that anti-sag device looks.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Goth Mommy, I agree. Absolutely gorgeous. If dims don't fit, make a new notch with a penknife. I cannot encourage that at all.
I thought that was
That's a big old bag of no. No. Well, I'm excited for today because I'm going to get to go back and play more horror games. It's going to be fun. Just install more RGB. Yes. Visiting virtually. Hello, Receptor. What's going on? How are you? Receptor 17 was one of my co-casters for Griffball back in its heyday. He is most known for in-game photography. So, Cosworth. Oh, I'm playing more. Skur Ritual. So, what's this I hear about DJ visiting my homeland to scream and run away from things? Yeah, absolutely would love to. Enjoying Stampede Racing Royale, 60-player karting royale. What? That sounds like Mario Kart on steroids.
60 player. That sounds wild.
That's pretty good.
That is nuts. Deborah mentions she's always amazed at how fast y'all put computers together. Yes, and they're the best. Appreciate it. Wales Interactive made it. Nice. Oh, that's got it. I just thought for some reason, jeez. I'll get it together. All right, there we go. So what PC horror games are good now? Well, I mean, there's a lot to choose from.
None. That's what.
He does not go with the with that. All right, now as we start to get, excuse me, as we start to get our panels put back on, what I do want to do is take you all to some place that I find magical and I enjoy playing with things, and that is how you can get your hands on one of our amazing PCs yourself, and it's called clxgaming.com. At clxgaming.com, we try and make it as easy as possible for you to get the device of your dreams. You can choose what size. If you want a small one, a medium-sized one, a big one, or a large one, they're all options right here. We have everything from Intel to AMD, RTX by NVIDIA, and then we've also got Radeon. You can choose whether you want solid states or hard drives, whether you want one or whether you want 5, depending on if your case can handle it. And you get to choose it all right here. You can select whether you want it overclocked on just the GPU, just the CPU, or both, like we're going to be doing for Deadshot 91s here. And it's great because you can't screw it up. And here's why. Notice how that little button went from green to yellow. It's to solve conflict. Well, if you happen to choose two things, like for example, with a NVIDIA GeForce 4090, you have a pretty robust and beefy power supply. So right now, the option given is you're going to have to change what's up. If you want to keep your power supply, you're going to have to choose a different graphics card. But if you want to keep that graphics card, you're going to have to choose a different power supply. So when you do that, once you fix it, that little yellow light will turn back into a green and you are cleared to go. Yep, there we go. Now, with that being said, there's many different options. The cable mods that you've noticed from, operating systems, secondary drives, all of it, RAM, you name it, we got it. Now, the best part about this is we have options for cooling, many different options for cooling, and then we have our accessories. And the accessories is where things get fun. First of all, you can get really cool t-shirts and our famous windbreakers, which are available now in gray, red, and purple. I love it. Plus, we've got shirts and t-shirts and things. Now, if we want a keyboard, you want a mouse, you want a controller, you want a headset, you want a mic, you want speakers, monitors, we've got all of it. We even have streaming gear. For example, you can get yourself a capture card here. You can get yourself a Beacon Mix Crate, a Beacon mic if you're just new to streaming or just starting to stream. That is a great place to get things started. Now, wait, what? Underwear? Yeah. I'm not sure what that was in reference to.
Someone's asking.
No, we don't make underwear or socks. Hats, t-shirts, and things. But now a lot of people sometimes find that it's a little bit complicated and they're like, oh my God, this is too much. That's okay. We have ready to ship models called the RTS section. Now here come in multiple different performance ranges from entry level to mid range, high end, and then your ultra. Now these are pre-builts that we've already put together, we've already tested, they're established. If you want to make a little adjustments here and there, we can customize them, but this is how you can get a hold of it without having to worry about, oh God, I don't know whether I'm putting in the right thing or not. They're already done. So for all of your PC needs, head on over to clxgaming.com and help us prepare you for the future. Now, Paul, I did make a comment about something that goes on with our ready-to-ship models, and that is testing. What did I mean when I said testing?
Yeah, so the RTS and any custom system goes through the same testing process here. So what we do is once the systems are built like this one and powered on, they go to testing and integration, and that's where we get into the system. So the first thing we do is get into the BIOS. We'll make sure our RAM speed's set correctly, all of our storage devices are showing up, and tweak a few other settings there depending on the build. This one is getting overclocked, so that's where we would set the overclock. After that, we actually load the system, so the operating system, if you picked any games on our website, that's where we would load those. If you didn't pick any games, you just get a fresh install of Windows, and that's it. We do not put any bloatware on these machines. You're not going to get a whole bunch of different antivirus softwares you don't want, just a clean install of Windows. And then once everything's installed, we run the system through a 12-hour stress test to make sure everything's stable and working right. Typically, if a component is defective from the manufacturer, it'll fail in that first 12-hour burn-in. So that allows us to catch it there and make sure you get a stable system.
All right. So let's go. So now I see that Deadshot91 says, I can't wait for this to get in my house. Well, let's have a peek at what it will look like once it's in your house. Gentlemen, let's go.
Look at that here.
Show shuttle.
All right, so we can get this.
Here we go. I love it.
See those
Yeah,
fans
and
on the
those fans
AIO
are
up there?
those fans are nice and subtle. I love it.
Yeah.
Not as subtle as Nicole dropping an MTSM code with RSIS in there. That is the code. It is MTSM RSIS, and that is worth 200 extra entries into the giveaway for the Star Citizen build. God, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, I love
Alrighty.
the ones up top.
Yeah, it's subtle. It's not like, but yeah, it's great. All right, now with that being said, first of all, thank you, Deadshot91, for letting us build this with you. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm excited to hear how it turns out. Don't forget, once you get it and get it set up, and take a picture of it. There's a section in our Discord that is just for people and their setup pictures who want to see where you put it, how it looks in your space. So that would be awesome. Now, this show, as normal, is going to happen in 2 parts. In just a few, we're going to take a break. When we come back, you're going to spend the afternoon with Zach, as Zach builds some new, amazingly ridiculous machines. And I promise this one coming up is going to be awesome sauce. So, you can always find us on Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. That happens on all of our channels. You can find codes that are dropped for giveaways on the Kick side, which is kick.com/CLXgaming on Tuesdays. On the Twitch side, which is twitch.tv/CLXGamingTV on Thursdays. You can also keep up with the latest and greatest of things that are going on with CLX Gaming and possibly find yourself some online codes with our social media. That's YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at CLX Gaming. You may also find a code in our Discord where we have fun with a whole bunch of like-minded content creators and gamers just like you, and that is discord.gg/CLXgaming. The other place that you can find codes is on my streams. Pretty much every stream. I know today I will have at least 1, possibly 2 codes I'll be giving out once our shows are finished. But in the meantime, we want to say thank you so much for joining us today. And of course, we're going to be back with another show on Tuesday. So on behalf of Jason and Kyle in production, Paul and Zach, I'm BJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.